Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, February 21st. Well, yesterday's winter storm is over in the Mid-Atlantic region. There's some residual ice this morning. Temperatures not too far from the freezing mark in suburban areas across the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. But it'll be a much quieter day today and much milder this afternoon with high temperatures at or slightly above the 50-degree mark in D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. The big story over the next few days will be a major storm that will unfold for the Great Lakes, the upper part of the Midwest, eventually heading up into Canada. That will bring more rain to the Mid-Atlantic region over the weekend, generally in the period from later Saturday into early Sunday. Then Sunday afternoon, temperatures could really soar in the D.C. to New York City corridor, reaching 60-plus degrees in some areas of the I-95 corridor on Sunday afternoon. That warm-up will be short-lived, however, as colder air returns on Monday and for the early part of next week. I thought we'd start off here with the 5-day forecast map from NOAA for total precipitation amounts. This runs from this morning all the way until next Tuesday morning. 4 different areas I want to highlight here by looking at this map, and it's a very active weather pattern that is ongoing. First of all, the Tennessee Valley, the Mississippi Valley continue to get pounded by rainfall, and they will get several more inches of rain over the next 5 days or so. Certainly that could result in some flash flood watches and warnings for this particular area. Not too surprising, as we've discussed here before, this is kind of a battle zone region with very warm temperatures in this part of the nation and very cold temperatures centered over the northwestern part of the nation. This is the battle zone region, and it looks like it'll stay that way for the next 5 days or so. Eventually, this cold air overwhelms the whole nation, really. By the early part of March, colder air drops south and east and encompasses most of the nation. Well, let's now move on to a couple other areas. First of all, notice lots of precipitation here in the southwestern part of the U.S. over the next few days. A lot of this will fall as heavy snow in kind of unusual places today and tomorrow. Places like Sedona, Arizona, not used to getting pounded by snow necessarily. 1 to 2 feet on top of what they've already received is likely over the next 24 hours or so. Again, very unusual, very, very heavy snowfall for parts of the southwestern U.S. extending from Arizona into New Mexico. Also, another powerful storm headed towards California. Looks like it will impact the northern half of the state over the next 5 days. Again, this is a compilation over the next 5 days, but that area of the country continues to get pounded. Meanwhile, the fourth area of interest, this stripe of precipitation right here will be associated with an absolutely powerful storm system over the Great Lakes region, the upper part of the Midwest this upcoming weekend. A lot of this will be heavy, heavy snowfall. A blizzard definitely on the way for parts of the Great Lakes, the upper part of the Midwest over the upcoming weekend. And we'll kind of focus in on that because it could be definitely a news-making type event, perhaps historic low pressures associated with a strong storm system that, again, will be headed towards the Great Lakes region over the upcoming weekend. So a lot going on in the world of weather across the nation from coast to coast over the next several days. Now let's take a quick peek at NOAA's forecast for snowfall. We'll look at day 1, 2, and 3 just to highlight the heavy snowfall over the next several days. This is a probability regions of 4 or more inches. And again, over the next 24 hours, day 1, the southwestern U.S. really is the winner, and way up just north of Maine there's some decent snowfall as well, but this is the area of interest here. Again, some unusual places. Flagstaff normally gets some snow, certainly, but Sedona, Arizona, not all that common to get 1 to 2 feet on top of what they've already had. Now let's go to day 2. And that snowfall extends to the east somewhat from Arizona into New Mexico, all the way down into northwestern Mexico. Again, all of this is snow, probabilities of 4 or more inches, where blue is the least probable, green is the moderate probability, and Red is the high probability, the probability legend right here. But again, heavy snow in places like Arizona, New Mexico, spilling over into the Colorado Rockies over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, here we go, the beginning of that powerful weekend storm here, showing a stripe of snow from the Central Plains all the way up into the northern plains here in day 2. That's early Friday into early Saturday. Now finally, let's go into day 3. This is early Saturday into early Sunday. Again, a blizzard for the upper part of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region. A tremendous low pressure system will be centered in this region of the country over the upcoming weekend, and we'll focus in on the model prediction for that storm over the next few minutes. But this definitely will become a newsmaker, and again, perhaps historically low pressures with blizzard conditions for parts of the Great Lakes region over the upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest continues to get significant snowfall in those higher elevation locations. We talked about California getting hit again in Northern California over the next few days. A lot of that will end up as heavy snowfall in the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest. Well, let's take a look at last night's 06Z run of the GFS model. This is the operational GFS model. We're looking excuse me, at the 500 millibar pattern. We're seeing the short waves of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere, otherwise referred to as vorticity maxima. And here's the area of interest for that Great Lakes storm over the upcoming weekend. It starts off with deep upper level low over California. Again, that's contributing to the heavy snowfall over the next 24 to 48 hours or so in Arizona and New Mexico. Let's just move forward. These maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. And in much of the same fashion as recent storms, this deep upper level low will head towards the Great Lakes. And here we go by early Saturday morning. Very, very strong looking storm system in the upper part of the atmosphere over the Panhandle region of Texas. And again, it just scoots on up to the north and east. And over the upcoming weekend, this will result in a powerful storm in this particular part of the country over the Great Lakes, the upper part of the Midwest. Blizzard-like conditions during the weekend. Here in the east, we'll actually have rain well ahead of this particular system. It will certainly contribute to a significant rain event here in the Mid-Atlantic region, down the Tennessee Valley, the Mississippi Valley. The rain in the Mid-Atlantic region focused on later Saturday into early Sunday. And then warm air will really ride up the coastline during the afternoon on Sunday. And again, we could see 60-plus degrees in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Sunday afternoon. That will be short-lived, however, as colder air returns for the early part of next week. Well, let's now look at the surface forecast maps for the next few days from the 6Z GFS model run. Lots of activity right now in the southwestern U.S. Again, snow in the higher elevations of Arizona and all the way into Sedona, for example. Rain along the coastal regions of California. Meanwhile, in the northeast, clearing away over the next few hours in the mid-Atlantic region. Some sunshine this afternoon, noticeably milder conditions. Now let's move forward here and watch the development of this storm over the middle part of the country and then ultimately into the Great Lakes region. Here we are by Saturday morning, 997 millibar low in the Panhandle region of Texas. Meanwhile, rain over the Tennessee Valley starting to move to the north and east. And watch the intensification of this area of low pressure here as we go from 997 to 992, now down to 987, finally 981 by Sunday morning. Look at the isobar pattern here. The tighter these black lines, the tighter the pressure gradient, the stronger the winds. This will result in extreme wind conditions here, blizzard conditions for the certainly the western Great Lakes region, much of the upper part of the Midwest. And that rapid drop in pressure, by the way, was approximately 20 millibars over a 24-hour period. That kind of qualifies as a bombogenesis. Incredible intensification over a 24-hour period. And again, this could result in some historically low pressure regions come Sunday morning over places like Michigan, the upper part and lower part of Michigan, Wisconsin. Tremendous blizzard-like conditions. 980 millibar translates to 28.94 inches on your barometer. Take a look and see how strong that is. Again, rain in the mid-Atlantic region. Notice we don't have a strong high pressure area here in the Northeast as we did with the previous system, the previous couple of systems. Without that strong high to the north, this looks like predominantly, if not completely, a rain event coming to the mid-Atlantic region this weekend. Again, from later Saturday into early Sunday, can be a soaking rain event as well. And notice also along the coast here Sunday morning we have southwest winds. That will propel some very mild air up the coastline. Sunday afternoon could be a real spring tease in the I-95 corridor region. After the rain ends, maybe even some breaks of sunshine, but temperatures could spike up to 60+ degrees in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Again, that's short-lived though. By the time Monday morning rolls around, colder air will flood in behind that departing powerful storm system as it moves up into southeastern Canada here by Sunday night. This is a seasonally cold air mass headed to the mid-Atlantic region for Monday and Tuesday, but certainly much colder conditions on Monday and Tuesday in the mid-Atlantic region compared to what I expect to happen on Sunday afternoon. But the main story over the next several days will be this powerful storm system over the Great Lakes during the upcoming week. And again, it will be a news-making event, blizzard conditions, and perhaps even some record low pressure readings early Sunday morning. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Orian.